Hi everybody and welcome back to SDI Coffee Break. And if you saw the last video in this series, we met Simon Kent and we asked Simon a few questions. I think we learned a couple of things about Simon. He was challenged on passenger or driver, but came up with driver, which is, I don't know if that's a power thing, Simon, is it? I don't know. Or is it a leadership thing? What was that? Why did you take so long on that question?
Do you know what? Well, there's two reasons why it took so long, and I'll be completely honest with you, is that Claire, my partner, walked into the room with a cup of coffee, and I looked at her.
Well, that's a good answer.
That's my immediate sort of distraction in that question. But when I stopped and thought about it, which was momentarily, it was about leadership. You're right.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
Yeah, it's about, you got to drive results. You just got to drive, right?
Yeah,
especially in today's world, which is crazy. Yeah,
it's true. And actually, I've been scouring the social channels for good news stories, and there are hundreds and hundreds of them out there. Some of them are going unseen, unmentioned. Others are being captured and will be told and retold, no doubt. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So we're going to talk about value, Simon, and we're going to talk about some of the core components of value, maybe, and what value means in service management, what it has meant, and what it means now, because there's been some change, I think, over the last year or so. And the emphasis on creating value, what value outcomes mean, all that wonderful stuff. I think historically you've been involved in sort of the BRM stuff and some of the relationship stuff in relation to value and what value meant. And I think when we've talked before, I think it's led up to where you are now. And I think there is this sort of convergence point, I feel, over the last year when we've moved away from this sort of top-down control, governance, process-orientated how we manage service management. And I think it's a little bit more, what I think is putting humanity back into some of those systems to create value. So identifying what value is to create it. And I think when we've talked before, you've talked about your input to what value means with the BRM Institute and in other arenas as well.
Yeah, so you're right. I've been involved in the BRM space for a good sort of 5 years, I would say, about that. But what led me to that was my service and my time in the SaaS industry, in the software as a service industry, right? And within that space, it was always our client base, my customer base that I was servicing throughout my entire career was ITSM customers. So there's that immediate synergy between servicing the ITSM space and the IT space, and what did that mean between what was IT and IT service management trying to achieve in the context of their business, in their organizations. And then we as a supplier, or my involvement as a supplier, as a software as a service supplier, was part of that value chain. It's all part of that cycle of value that says, if I understand what let's say Dave, right, and SDI, if SDI were one of my customers, or one of the customers, the most important thing that I would need to understand is, what are you as an organization trying to achieve? How does the software as a service that I supply connect to those goals? Because we're part of that whole chain. It comes down to what do our customers want to achieve? Now, in the context of a business where it's an IT department or an IT organization inside of an internal business, right, that internal relationship, we've been using this notion about customer all this time, and it's created a barrier within the organization. And actually, I know it's only a name, but it has created a barrier. Now, if we just forget that for a second, but just say, if we take the same mindset and say, what is it that we collectively converged? You use the word convergence. Love that. I love coherence as well. Coherence is very
good word.
Coherence says we're all on the same frequency, right? We're all at the same level.
Yeah.
And when you get through coherence, you actually magnify the wave, right? You create a larger amplitude. So fantastic. Anyway, the point being here is that when we get that convergence between IT and business, what IT is saying is we understand, and what business is saying is we understand collectively what the goals are. What is our objectives? What are we trying to achieve? That is the definition of value. Okay? And that then extends out to that organization's customers. So if it's a university, its customers primarily, there'll be a different raft of stakeholders, but its customers are students, right? So it's about student experience, and IT and the university business, the business of the university, all working together to go, what are the goals and what are we trying to achieve as a university in order to enhance the student experience, to get more funding for research, for blah, 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 blah. Right?
And that links back. That links all the way back to the point, doesn't it? Because it's about the collaboration aspect of that, but the relationship aspect of that. And people call it relationship management now, business relationship management. It's working together. It's collaborating to reach a goal, a defined goal. Now we're going to stop that one there. We're going to stop that one there, Simon, right? Because I know we could just bang on for at least another 6 months, just on that one subject, right? So we're going to stop there, and what we'll do, we'll maybe talk about that again. We'll talk about what value actually is, and maybe what focus on value means as well in the next couple of videos, okay? So thanks to everybody for listening. Thank you, Simon, and we'll catch up in the next video. Thank you.